Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're going deep on something that's been getting a lot of buzz lately. Headless architecture and microservices in e-commerce.
Yeah, these are two really hot topics right now.
We've got a whole stack of research here to really unpack what's going on
It's going to be a good one.
and why it matters for businesses trying to stay ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. And the numbers really speak for themselves.
We're seeing some serious growth in this space.
For sure.
Like, check this out. Headless commerce was a $1.7 billion market in 2020, and by 2025, it's projected to hit $5.6 billion.
That's huge.
And get this, 47% of enterprises are already using microservices.
So whether you're prepping for a meeting, trying to catch up on the latest tech trends, or just curious, this deep dives is going to give you the insights you need to really understand what's going on and to ask the right questions.
Exactly. So let's break it down, starting with headless architecture.
All right.
Now, I think the restaurant analogy is really helpful here.
That is a good one. Imagine the front of the house. Right, that's your customer-facing website. Your apps, all the visuals and interactions that customers see and experience.
Right, the look and feel of the place.
That's the front end.
Exactly.
And behind the scenes, you've got the kitchen humming away.
Right, all the action.
Handling all the orders, the inventory, the complex processes that customers don't see.
But that make the whole thing work.
That's the back end.
Yeah.
So headless architecture is all about separating those two.
Decoupling them.
And this gives businesses a ton of flexibility.
For sure, 80% of businesses using Headless Report increased flexibility, according to our research.
Wow, 80%. That's a huge number.
It is, and it makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
You can completely revamp your mobile app, say, to create a super smooth and engaging shopping experience.
Right.
Without having to touch the back-end systems at all.
So you're not limited by the back end.
Exactly. You're free to experiment and innovate on the front end.
It's like changing the decor or menu of the restaurant without disrupting the chefs in the kitchen.
Perfect analogy.
You can adapt to customer preferences and market trends much faster.
And speed is key in today's world.
One study even shows that businesses using Headless can roll out new features 30% faster.
That's a huge competitive advantage.
For sure. So it's not just about flexibility, it's about agility.
Being able to respond quickly to changes.
And it's about reaching your customers wherever they are.
Absolutely.
72% of companies using Headless report smoother integration across platforms.
So you're talking about creating one unified experience.
Exactly. Whether your customer is on their phone, browsing your website on their laptop, or even using an in-store kiosk.
Seamless omnichannel experience.
That's what customers expect these days.
They want a consistent experience no matter how they interact with your brand.
Absolutely. And we can't forget about performance.
Oh, yeah. Slow loading times are a killer.
I know. I've abandoned so many online shopping carts because a page was taking forever to load.
I think we've all been there.
Well, businesses using Headless are seeing some serious improvements in page load times, with 89% reporting faster speeds.
That translates to happier customers.
And ultimately more sales.
It all feeds into creating a positive user experience.
So it's not just about making things faster and smoother.
Right.
It's about using that flexibility to really personalize the experience.
And that's a big deal because 61% of e-commerce businesses are exploring headless solutions specifically for personalization.
So they're not just thinking about functionality, they're thinking about how to tailor each interaction to the individual customer.
Exactly. It's about creating those unique customer journeys that really resonate.
Okay, so that's headless architecture.
Decoupling the front end and back end for flexibility and agility.
Now let's move to the back end and talk about microservices.
All right, let's dive in.
So instead of having one big monolithic system,
All right, everything bundled together.
microservices break things down into smaller independent services.
Like building blocks.
Each one responsible for a specific function.
Exactly.
It's like comparing a massive all-in-one appliance to a kitchen with specialized appliances for every task.
I like that analogy.
You've got your oven, your refrigerator, your blender,
Each one with its own purpose.
but working together to create a complete system.
A well-oiled machine.
And the beauty of this is that if one service fails,
Right.
the whole thing doesn't go down.
Exactly. That's one of the key advantages of microservices, fault tolerance.
It's built-in redundancy.
82% of companies using microservices report improved reliability.
That's a big deal, especially for online businesses where downtime can mean lost revenue.
Absolutely. Every minute counts.
So fault tolerance is huge, but let's talk about scalability.
Oh yeah, scalability is crucial, especially for businesses that are growing rapidly.
With microservices, you can scale individual services as needed.
Right. So instead of having to upgrade your entire system,
You can just add more capacity to the specific areas that are under pressure.
it's like adding another oven to your kitchen when you've got a lot of orders coming in.
I love that analogy, and it really works.
It does, and the stats back it up. 77% of enterprises report improved scalability thanks to microservices.
So it's not just theory, it's actually happening in the real world.
Businesses are seeing the benefits firsthand.
This modular approach just seems to make everything more efficient.
It does, and that efficiency extends to maintenance and deployment as well.
Okay, tell me more about that.
Well, because each service has a smaller code base, it's much easier to manage and maintain.
Right, so you're not dealing with this giant tangled mess of code.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's all neatly compartmentalized.
And this leads to a 45% reduction in maintenance costs, according to our research.
That's significant, especially for businesses trying to keep costs down.
And not only is it cheaper to maintain, but updates can be rolled out much faster.
60% faster, to be exact.
So you're talking about bug fixes, new features, all happening much quicker.
Speed and agility are key in today's fast-paced digital world.
No doubt about it.
And this is something that market research firms are picking up on.
Oh yeah, they're definitely paying attention.
The iMark Group, for instance, which specializes in market research.
I've heard of them.
They found that the global microservices architecture market was valued at a hefty $4.2 billion in 2024.
Wow, that's a lot of ovens and blenders.
It is, but hold on. It gets even more impressive.
Okay, I'm listening.
They're projecting that by 2033, the market is going to explode to $13.1 billion.
That's a massive jump.
It is, and it's a clear indication that this isn't just a passing trend.
Right.
It's a fundamental shift in how businesses are building their technology infrastructure.
So we've got headless separating the front and back end, and microservices breaking down the back end even further.
Right.
So the question is, are these two approaches completely separate?
That's a great question, and that's what we'll be digging into next.
All right, so stay tuned, everyone, because we're just getting started.
We're going to unpack how headless and microservices can work together to create some truly powerful e-commerce solutions.
And we'll explore what this means for the future of online retail.
It could be fascinating.
So don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after a short break.
They're not mutually exclusive. In fact, they can be incredibly powerful when used together.
So it's not about choosing one over the other.
Right. It's about understanding how they complement each other.
It's about finding the right tool for the job, or in this case, the right combination of tools.
Exactly. And that depends on your specific needs and goals as a business.
So let's say you're a business with ambitious plans for growth, and you need to be able to handle those sudden spikes in traffic, like during a flash sale or a viral marketing campaign.
Right. You need to be able to scale up quickly and efficiently.
Microservices with their independent scalable services could be a game changer in that scenario.
Absolutely. You can scale up those specific parts of your system that are under pressure without having to overhaul everything.
That's powerful.
It is.
But what if personalization is your top priority?
If you're really focused on tailoring the customer experience and creating unique journeys for different segments,
Making each customer feel like they're the only customer.
headless architecture gives you the freedom to experiment and innovate on the front end without being constrained by the back end.
So you can create those hyper-personalized experiences that customers are coming to expect.
Exactly.
So it's about matching the technology to the business strategy.
Finding the right fit.
But here's a thought. What if you want both scalability and depersonalization?
That's where the magic happens. You can actually combine the power of headless and microservices to create a truly robust and adaptable e-commerce ecosystem.
Okay, now we're talking. Give us an example of how that would work in practice.
Imagine you're an online retailer with a mobile app, a website, and even a presence on social media platforms, all serving different customer segments.
So you've got multiple touch points.
With Headless, you can create unique front-end experiences tailored to each platform and audience.
So your mobile app could have a completely different look and feel than your website optimized for a younger demographic, maybe.
Exactly. And on the back end, you'd have microservices handling everything from inventory management to payment processing to personalized recommendations.
Wow, so it's like having a whole team of specialists working behind the scenes.
Each one an expert in their area.
And each of those services could be scaled independently to accommodate traffic fluctuations and evolving customer demands.
Precisely.
It's like having a super efficient engine under the hood, powering all those different customer-facing experiences.
A powerful engine that can adapt to any situation.
What kind of impact does this combined approach have on actual business outcomes? Do we have any data on that?
We do. Studies show that businesses using this combined approach see significant improvements.
Like what specifically?
For instance, scalability is boosted by an impressive 50% compared to traditional systems.
Wow, a 50% improvement. That's huge.
It is, and it means that businesses can handle significant growth without worrying about their systems buckling under pressure.
That peace of mind is invaluable.
Absolutely.
What about time to market? We talked about how both headless and microservices can speed things up, but what happens when you combine them?
It's like hitting the fast-forward button. Businesses leveraging both technologies can bring new features to market even faster, giving them a crucial edge in today's competitive landscape.
So it's not just about keeping up, it's about setting the pace.
Exactly. And this agility allows them to adapt quickly to changing customer preferences and stay ahead of the curve.
So it's a win-win for both businesses and customers.
It is.
Now, I know we've thrown a lot of information at them today, so let's take a moment to recap the key takeaways from this deep dive. What are the essential points we want them to walk away with?
First and foremost, headless architecture is about separating the front end, the customer-facing part of your e-commerce site, from the back end, the behind-the-scenes technology that makes it all work. This separation allows for unparalleled flexibility and customization.
It's like being able to renovate your restaurant's dining room without having to shut down the kitchen.
Exactly, and those renovations can happen much faster thanks to the increased agility that headless provides.
We're talking about being able to launch new features 30% faster, which is a game changer in today's fast-paced world.
And let's not forget about the seamless omni-channel experience that headless enables 72% of companies using headless report smoother integration across platforms.
So your customers can move effortlessly from your website to your mobile app to your social media store without any hiccups.
It's about meeting the customer where they are and providing a consistent experience regardless of how they choose to interact with your brand.
And of course, we can't overlook the performance boost that comes with headless. 89% of businesses report faster page load times, which leads to happier customers and a better overall user experience.
Now let's shift gears to microservices. Instead of having one giant back-end system, microservices break it down into smaller independent services, each responsible for a specific function. Think of it like having a modular kitchen where each appliance has its own specific role to play.
This modular approach brings a ton of benefits, starting with improved reliability if one service goes down. The whole system doesn't crash. 82% of companies using microservices report improved reliability, which is a major plus, especially for e-commerce businesses that rely heavily on their online presence.
And remember those impressive scalability numbers. 77% of enterprises using microservices report improved scalability, meaning they can handle those traffic spikes with ease. They can scale up specific services as needed without having to overhaul the entire system.
And don't forget about the cost savings. Microservices lead to a 45% reduction in maintenance costs because those smaller code bases are much easier to manage. Plus, you can deploy updates 60% faster, which means you can get those new features and bug fixes out to your customers in a snap.
The iMark Group report really highlights the significance of this trend. They found that the global microservices architecture market was valued at $4.2 billion in 2024 and is projected to reach a staggering $13.1 billion by 2033. That's a clear indicator that microservices are here to stay.
It's not just a fad. It's a fundamental shift in how businesses are thinking about their technology infrastructure. Now, the key takeaway here is that headless and microservices aren't mutually exclusive. They can work together synergistically to create a truly powerful and flexible e-commerce ecosystem.
When you combine the flexibility and customization of headless architecture with the scalability and agility of microservices, you have a winning formula for success in the ever-evolving world of online retail.
It's about creating highly personalized, seamless experiences across all platforms, responding to market changes with lightning speed, and ultimately achieving long-term growth and staying ahead of the competition.
Now, before we wrap up, we want to leave you with a thought-provoking question to ponder, knowing the incredible potential of headless and microservices. What kind of groundbreaking online shopping experiences could be created? What would your ideal online store look and feel like?
It's not just about, like you said, improving what we already have.
Right, it's about pushing the boundaries.
It's about reimagining the entire online shopping experience.
Thinking outside the box.
That's what I find so exciting about this space. It's like a blank canvas.
It's a whole new world of possibilities.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into headless architecture and microservices, we hope we've given you a solid foundation.
Yeah, a good starting point.
To understand not just what these technologies are, but why they matter
and how they can be used to create some really amazing things.
We've looked at the data, we've analyzed the trends.
You've explored the potential.
Now it's your turn to connect the dots. Take these insights
And run with them.
apply them to your own business challenges, and start asking those critical questions.
Like, what are the unique needs of your customers?
How could you leverage these technologies to create more personalized and engaging experiences?
What would it take to make your online store a truly standout destination in the crowded digital marketplace?
We encourage you to keep learning, keep experimenting.
Keep pushing the boundaries.
The future of e-commerce is being written right now.
And you could be a part of it.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring.